wearing their fezzes. And those Moors from Sri Lanka are called Sri Lankan Moors. So even in Sri Lanka there's Moors. The salutation among the self-proclaimed faith nobles is Assalamu alaikum, which isn't European. The power this fraternal order uses to survive was and is the high science of ancient Moors, who abandoned their political, spiritual, economic, cultural, educational, and military power for the idol gods of Europe. The site states that no other organization better understands liberty, what it costs, and what must be done to maintain it. They say, to its ranks come many of the foremost leaders of business, the professions, and governments. Shriners claim that they do not project themselves upon the national political scene, but boldly express that many prominent, able, and important men whose voices are heard in the councils of men belong to their society of Shriners. So they're basically contradicting themselves on their own website, saying that they have no national political ideals, but everybody who belongs to the Shriners is in the international and national arena of spheres of activity, right? On the slide here, we have Abu from Aladdin with a fez. And then they used to say that the black man came from a monkey and all this stuff, right? You have Nazis wearing the fez, and on the fez they have the wingdis. So they not only stole the Egyptian culture, but they stole the Moorish culture. But then what do Moors teach? Moors teach that we are the inheritors of the Egyptian culture after it fell, after Ptolemy came into Egypt, or Kemet, you know, and at that time it was already in severe decline, you know, so they inherited a declining nation, right? Also, Lord Kitchener's on there with a fez on. The only true de jure nationals in these lands misnomer North, South, Central America are Moors. As Moorish American, we know the secret to these societies, fraternities, and clubs, as it was us, Moors, who gave them their organizational structure of the shrine, and our goddess Moabitis, who gave Albions the organizational structure of government through the Ankh and matriarchal principles. The inductees into the Shriners are greeted by self-proclaimed high priests by the existence of Allah and the creed of Muhammad. Shriners swear, promise, and vow on the Bible and the Quran in the name of Muhammad not to reveal the secret part or portion whatsoever, and to ask that Allah, the God of Arab, Muslim, and Muhammad, the God of our fathers, support me. And in the picture you can see Prophet Noble Juali in his stance of greeting. You can see Prophet Noble Juali in the Addip Chamber meeting. And then you can see the Masons in their secret stances, which are exactly identical to what the Prophet brought for us Moors to save ourselves in these lands. The truth is, the world knows about the Moors. When the Moorish kingdom fell in Granada to Ferdinand and Isabella in 1492, they sent Christopher Columbus to claim the Moroccan Empire in the west under Britain, so the sun will not fall on the British Empire, since they realized they would never defeat the Moors in the physical realm, but can defeat the Moors if the Moors were erased from the Moors' mind. On coming to these lands, Christopher Columbus found Moors here with mosques, paved streets, government, but chose to pillage our land, rape our women, and kill our offspring to erase the Moors from his story and our mind once and for all. There are Shriner temples called Alhambra, Keep in mind, Alhambra is the name of a Moorish fortress in 13th, 14th century Al-Andalus, which is Spain. The sword called the scimitar was the weapon of choice for the Moors who were militarily active. The military Moors were known as the Diwan, and the Prophet Noble Jew Ali brought that to us as the Mufti force. And this just goes into, again, the connection to the Shriners and the YMCA. Right? Shriners' oath of death, and truly these nobles and faithful men are no different than the TV preachers using honor and sincerity to keep the Moors dormant, while fattening their pockets and wallets under a charitable cause called Shriners Hospital and Shriners Circus. As of 2006, Forbes magazine reports that the Shriners are a $9.4 billion empire. Sounds a little more than a fraternity or organization to Moors and true citizens, since published reports state that 98% of the money Shriners raise at their circuses wasn't going to their hospitals. Only 2% was. And that was in the Orlando Sentinel newspaper. So again, we have to reiterate that the Prophet Noble Jew Ali brought us what we needed in order to save ourselves. And until we decide to save ourselves, we won't be saved. It's all about us saving ourselves. You know what I'm saying? So on that note, we want to end with a greeting to Brother A.A. Rashid for going through his trials and tribulations to get here, having to deal with the de facto corporate nation state called Canada, and realize the severity of our situation out here. Severity of our situation as a whole, because he couldn't even come here. And again, it's a deliberate tort against us learning about our nationality, right? So be in tune, keep your ear to the street for the low density sublinear assault on nationality by people of color by Brother A.A. Rashid. We want to say peace to everybody that's assisted cultural educators of Toronto in bringing the work to the people, and just based on what they try to do to stop us from doing our work is going to give us incentive to even do our work harder than we were doing it before. So again, we want to say peace to all the gods and goddesses of the earth and people of the universe. Islam, peace and love. Hotep.